Hello, guys. Welcome to the newest episode of the BarnCast. I'm your host, Farhan, of course. And joining me today, the host of Barnyard Wargaming himself, Jackson.
Hi. You don't have to make it sound so prestigious.
Mr. The Barnyard?
Mr. The Barnyard.
Mr. The Barnyard.
Yeah, I mean, I could be the Barnyard. I feel as though there's many barnyards around the world.
Mr. The Barnyard Esquire.
What, were you raised in a barn, mate?
I mean, he's raising a barn. Speaking of which, my fellow barn animal, Matthew.
Which barn animal am I meant to be? Am I the mushroom that grows on the side or something?
Yeah. I mean, Jackson hasn't been looking after the barn that well.
Yeah, no.
We're getting a bit dank.
I mean, it's a barn. Do you really look after barns that well? No.
I mean, you got to look after your barn, man.
I also like how I was like Sir Barnyard Esquire the Third, and Matt's like a mushroom that grows.
Hey, I said this on the last stream that I was on, man. You own the barnyard where you farm animals.
Yeah. Hey, is this you having like trying to? Is this your like way of apology from last time, Farhan, where everyone bullied me?
No, I gotta soften it up
on the last
before we start like just pummeling into you for the entirety of this.
Well, I mean, it hasn't started yet, so it's better than last time.
Sounds like a plan.
He's just trying to hold me back at this stage.
Yeah. Oh no, give me a second. I'll hold him. You punch.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah.
Washing machine between two people.
So we're running with the three of us today, but I really want to see how it's going to be like. I feel like we got some big egos in the room. Jackson.
We have one big ego in the room, and then we have you and me.
Yep.
What is this? I am not at all like that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even say who it was, Jackson. You identified yourself as being the big ego.
Farhan literally labelled me, and then you said yes.
All right.
There's too much thinking for me.
We're missing Mr. Two Arms. Where's Mr. Two Arms? He's not here.
I think they discovered that he didn't have just two arms.
Oh.
Yes.
He was nearly found out.
Yeah, he's been... and they begin already. He's been interplanetarily deported.
Well, guys, on this week's episode, we actually have so much to discuss. Like, oh my god. We might have too much to discuss. But let's see, because like we've got a bunch of new rules. Obviously, we're going to continue our discussion on the Knights. Because, oh my god. We've got the Mega Land Raider that we need to talk about that they literally dropped right after we finished recording. The last episode, I gotta talk to you guys about Warhammer Fest. That's gonna be like a big ticket item. But before we even start our first topic, I gotta talk to you guys about something we talked about right at the end of the last episode, which is the balanced data slate. They literally tweaked it.
Wait, are you sure? Are you sure, Farhan? You're not missing anything in particular? Nothing at all?
Oh my god. He's not going to let me live it down, you know?
I mean, it's a good thing I'm here. Otherwise, we'd just forget, wouldn't we?
Yeah, all right. Fine. Formalities. Hey, guys. What are you working on?
Okay, well, look, before we go on to what we're working on, I just personally want to give a massive thank you to Farhan. I mean, a huge amount of effort put in on all of these podcasts, and now you guys are listening to us through Apple Music and the Google Podcasts and everywhere where you find your podcasts.
Yeah.
Even
he's
Spotify.
He's a pretty good guy. I know him pretty well. But...
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me or you now? Because I feel as though your comment from earlier about myself was now completely flipped on its head.
You see this, viewers and or listeners?
Yeah,
he kills you with kindness, this one.
He absolutely does.
Farhan. Yeah.
And
now what are we working on?
Yes.
We'll start with you, Jackson.
Matt?
I want to hear what you're doing.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Flip it on its head again.
Get ourselves into order.
Yes. Okay. Me first. I am currently working on I was going to say secret project, but then I wouldn't be able to talk about what it is.
Don't tell anyone, guys.
Kind of a waste of time.
Keep it to yourself.
It's a special game system that starts with S. Oh yeah, and
Star Wars Legion. Yeah.
No, it's Anyway, I'm working on some Daughters of Cain. completely
starts with
unrelated. Yeah. No. The game system starts with S. Yeah. So
the Sage of Sigmar.
When did they bring Daughters of Cain into Legion, man? I must have missed that memo.
We are never going to get through all these topics today. It's just the topics that there's no way we're going to make it through. Anyway, look, I'm working on Daughters of Cain. I am currently batch basing 4,000 points worth of Daughters of Cain.
4,000? You have 4,000 points now?
Yeah. I've got 25 snakes, 30 witches, Marathi, 5 other characters, 5 horses.
Marathi.
I've got Marathi's in there.
I
said that.
Marathi.
I've got 10,
and then
10
also
Kinray.
Marathi.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
Marathi,
in there.
You got little Marathi.
Yep, I mean, technically, yes. I'm batch basing them all because I bought these nice little Greek column things. And I think I spoke about it in a previous podcast, but I glued them all on. I'm basing everything currently. We're going to paint them all. And then if all goes to plan, I will have a Sigmar army that we can use for some games of Star Wars Legion.
I'm getting so
Looking forward
close.
to that.
We may or may not also play some Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Don't give away the surprise.
What an awesome idea.
It's holistically my idea. I just brought it up just now.
Oh, thanks, Farhan. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, we should
That
do it.
would be good, yeah. I think that the Daughters of Cain would probably work a bit better in Sigmar than they would in
I hear they've got
Star
rules
Wars
for
Legion.
that too.
Yeah. New ones too that are coming shortly on the way. Yeah.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? What have you been up to?
I have been working on turning some Outriders, some Primaris Outriders, into Ravenwing Outriders by giving them those little tail feathers that everyone loves.
Yeah, you were
making
talking
them
about it on a
postcards.
previous podcast, right? You've been keeping it up?
That's right. Exactly. So, in spirit of keeping all these Dark Angel Primaris dudes rolling, I've got them to do. I also have some Blade Guard vets that I'm going to be building and painting up. I bashed a couple out of some Sigmarines and some Dark Angel bits. So we'll see how they look when they're spray painted, base coated. But we'll see if it's worth me continuing or if I just go for a unit of 3 instead.
Nice. You've been shaking your tail feathers.
I have indeed. So we'll see.
They've been looking really good based off of like the pictures that you've shown.
And the stream that we did the other day where Matt came on the channel with his Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They look real good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to finally have them on stream. That's one thing that I really wanted to do ASAP, and I'm glad I finally did, even though it's
I mean, you've been chased up, right? Like you've been chased up by the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked Matt about 2 years ago to paint his Dark Angels, but we're here. We're finally here.
It
That's
finally
right.
happened.
Hey, you didn't have me 2 years ago, and now you got Matt playing Dark Angels. You're welcome.
That's true. Yeah.
You were the instigating force.
Yeah, it coalesced.
Guys.
It all came together.
Guys,
you
my
been working
quest
on?
continues. Matt, I don't know if you picked up on the last episode. I have made an oath of moments.
Yep.
Okay.
I need to paint 2,000 points worth of Seraphon before I move on to anything else.
I do remember listening to that and realizing that everyone had kept you accountable by talking about it consistently.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
my team.
particularly me.
Yep. I'm sure that you do it, man.
For all those viewers out there who don't really know, I have like far too many armies which are unfinished. I'm that type of hobbyist who kind of like picks up from one army, paints a bit, finishes a unit, moves on to another army, paints a unit, plays a bit, doesn't paint for a while.
Yep.
Repeat.
The West kind. Yep.
Hey,
Unless you're listening right now and you're that kind of hobbyist.
I think that if you're that kind of hobbyist where you buy things because of what they look like and then you paint them and you put them on a shelf, that's great. That's perfect. You're a painter, right? Mm-hmm. A builder and a painter. But if you're that kind of hobbyist, and the opposite side is where you just buy loads of models and you just build lots of armies and play lots of games, that's great. But if you're like Farhan, where you do a mix match right in the middle, and then you have like 500 to 1,000 points of like 12 armies, and none of them are finished, and you can't play any games with your friends except for like 500 points.
Hey, I can
That's
play
not
games.
good.
It's just not all of them painted. Come on, man. I'm not a very competitive player anyway. So like, I mean, what is Matt gonna like stop me from playing for having some great models?
Bro, you could
That's
put
true.
some bases down on the table and I'd still play you.
Sounds like a good time.
Yes.
But in continuation of my quest, I've decided to paint something which is worth a grand total. I mean, I painted Lord Croak last week, right? He's like 500 points, like 485 points. So I gotta keep up that momentum by painting something worth 0 points this week with the Realm Shaper Engine terrain piece.
What a beautiful pyramid.
I'm so excited. It's like, it's been sitting on my shelf, gray plastic, looking at it, going, this thing's gonna be so much fun. And then just like not doing anything. So this week is my redemption arc with it. And I'm going to finish painting it this week. And howdy, I'm going to show you the pictures.
I don't even think I know what that looks like. What is that?
It's a big Aztec pyramid.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, well,
I don't even
when
think
you
I've
say
seen this
Aztec,
before. Or maybe I haven't. I just forgot.
I'm sorry. It's a
non-proprietary.
lustrious
Oh, right.
lizardman pyramid.
Yep.
No,
Where
lizardman
do they
still
get
isn't
their
proprietary.
inspiration?
Yeah. At the very top, it's got like this really cool like altar thing with like 4 like snake totems, and they're all shooting lightning into this big floating like ring of lightning.
Ooh.
It's really cool, and like as a terrain piece, I think it's really fun as well because it turns all the terrain on the board into hazardous stuff for your opponents and beneficial stuff for your players. For me,
That is pretty awesome.
Out of curiosity, are you building it on the overgrown side or on the clean side?
Of course.
Overgrown. Okay.
I'm a coalesce player. I like playing lizards that are not made out of stardust.
Real lizards.
Yeah, I like lizards who are like real lizards, man.
Yeah, space lizards.
We're not going back into this. Yeah,
This man lives in the old world. Let him live there.
This guy looks at an insect
Okay,
and goes,
okay.
lizard.
You walk around with that little skink model with the blowpipe and be like, lizard.
This is my lizard.
Yes.
This is a
My
lizard.
lizard.
It was a chameleon, actually.
Oh,
a chameleon.
All right.
Sorry.
But yes, I built it on the overgrown side because I just feel like it has so much more character.
No, 100%. I definitely think it's the better of the two. If you're going to go clean, there's no real point. Like, you may as well just,
Yeah, I feel like it takes away from the aesthetic. I like the overgrown look,
One of
Farhan,
the
if you're going to
aesthetic
go
pieces
clean,
is
you
the
have to
overgrown.
commit.
Yeah. I'm not ready to make that kind of commitment yet, Jackson.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually, guys. He'll go clean
All right.
one day.
That's enough bumbling around about our hobby. Oh, that's not like it's a hobby
Yeah.
podcast or anything. Guys, before we move on to any articles, let's talk about that balanced data slate. Before I forget,
Yes. It's probably a good idea.
It's a good idea.
they very specifically, and if you were watching the YouTube version of the podcast last week, I actually edited in the updated information of the data slate. They specified with Astra Militarum that Hammer of the Emperor ability that they have does not affect Tempestus Scions.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get your 2 cents on that because Tempestus Scions would have been the first thing I thought about.
Yep, it was the first thing I thought of too. It sucks.
Higher
No.
AP, like more consistent wounds.
Calling me completely ignorant, but I thought that the big value with this Hammer of the Emperor piece was the fact that you could have a bajillion conscripts just absolutely killing everything because they can hit on 6s anyway.
You
No
can,
mortal wound.
definitely. But like your brain definitely should wander towards like Tempestus Scions because they've got the extra AP. I mean,
Yes.
you're getting more consistent
Matt.
shots from
The
you wanna say,
hotshot
Jack?
las guns they're basically the same thing except they're -3. So
Okay.
they're just better in terms of like quality shooting to actually get some damage through, and they're still not that strong. So getting the auto wound is pretty huge.
Yeah,
And
because it's still
also
strength
there's
3.
there's another there's a trait for one of them. I can't remember what it's called, the lions or something. I built a list for them recently actually, and one of their traits is a 6 to hit is 2 hits if you're shooting at the closest unit. So
Okay.
that would be pretty good because
How does that work? Would it be 2 hits which are auto
think it would
wounds?
interact.
No. the first one would auto wound, and then you would just basically roll another wound.
Is
So
it
it would
another?
be like
Is it another
a 6
shot
to
or
hit
another
is-
automatic hit?
it's another automatic hit, I'm pretty sure. So you'd basically get a free automatic wound on top in addition to everything else,
I see.
which would be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but they very
sadly, they
specifically
don't
went
stack.
back and
Yeah.
they capped it. It cannot be Tempestus Scions because they don't have the regiment keyword. They
Yeah.
replaced the regiment keyword.
Yep.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, so it
was
goes back
there-
to my conscript idea, I guess.
Yeah, conscript idea sounds even better now. Is there anything
Even
else in
things
the
that
change?
aren't, even things that have loads of different shots, like multi-lasers that I think strength 6,
Mhm.
I still think that they're going to be pretty good because then you can use them to shoot anything, like
That
other
is true.
vehicles and things, and they'll
That's a
still
good point.
put in quite a bit of work.
It's crazy how it's like army wide.
Yeah.
Which is it's gonna be real powerful.
I mean, as Neil
powerful.
said, auto wounding is actually pretty large. I mean, like you're going to lose a third of your shots no matter what, even if you're shooting with las cannons against something, because you're going to be winning on 3s. So every third
Yeah.
las cannon will not wound, and now every 6th las cannon will automatically wound. So it's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it sets you up for a very, very nice shooting phase. But
Yeah.
I do agree with what we were saying before about it, just to reiterate, because I do feel like it is a band-aid until they get their codex.
That's a good point.
It's definitely
huge
one of those
Band-Aid.
rules. It's like Crusher Stampede for the Tyranids. It just
Yeah.
it
It's going to be
was
the
there.
only thing that holds them over, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same thing with loads of things. For poor Eldar, it was the one trait, expert craft that they had from Psychic Awakening that kept the army alive for like a long time. So it'll be
Well,
the
the
same
Fallen
until they get
rules
their codex.
that will be superseded by nothing because they hate the Fallen. Almost as
Yep.
much as the Dark Angels do.
Have fun in Legends, Matt.
I don't know what you're talking about. They don't exist. Just like how
Yeah.
Games Workshop has told us.
They only
Yeah.
exist in the Dark Angels rules that
Yeah.
The
have
only
benefits
fall I
against
know
fighting
of
the
is the
Fallen.
fall of the Eldar.
Of course. They're fighting an enemy that doesn't actually exist. So it's a keyword
Yeah.
that doesn't affect anyone.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
fighting themselves. Actually, what if? And this is me, like, red ribbon on the walls and like yarn
Oh,
everywhere,
tinfoil
and
hat.
pins, tinfoil hat, big
Yep.
time.
Okay.
What if the reason that they've removed Fallen from the Chaos Codex that's coming out, the CSM Codex that's coming out, is because they're going to get their own book eventually when they release the line, and it's going to be Dark Angels versus the Fallen specifically.
That would be pretty
Seeing
wicked.
as they just put Harlequins back into the Eldar book after about 5 years of having their own codex,
Matt,
I would say no.
what is your opinion on them just giving Fallen rules in the Dark Angel supplement?
I mean, yes and no. I think you'll have those diehard Dark Angels fans that will kick and scream and say, "Oh no Fallen in my precious book." But then you'll have other people that say, "Well, at least now I
literally-
can run my army as a Chaos army the way that
Yeah.
I want to."
Like, look, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of prefer Fallen over the Dark Angels, myself personally. My personal opinion.
Chaos.
But that's partly why, because they're not really that chaos corrupted. I find the aesthetic
Oh.
really pleasing for Dark Angels, and I like the idea that there's like a dark side to the coin, but it's definitely not represented in the game.
No, not at all.
Like it would be
It's
so much fun
very
to
badly done.
actually have an army behind Cypher. Would actually be really cool. I
I
think.
feel as though it would be exactly like Fabius Bile, like the creations of Bile army, like some kind of very specific army. You know
Yes,
what I mean? What are they called?
yeah.
The
It could
armies of
be.
renown.
Yeah, look, I
Yeah.
could definitely see them putting it into the Chaos Space Marine book, especially because from what it looks like, Emperor's Children and World Leaders are on their way out. It might be better to give them a bigger spotlight in the Chaos book. That'd be pretty big.
We already know that they're not in there though.
I know.
So if there was an army of renown, then that would be a great idea. You have army of renown. It comes from the Dark Angels, but it requires that they be firstborn Marines,
Yep.
and then it gives them rules based on that.
Dude, not gonna lie, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. Let's see
He'd
if they
love
do
it
it.
so much, he'd write it down as a project after the Seraphon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
And after everything else.
Yeah, and after everything else, yeah.
Until I feel
Now,
bored,
hold
and then
on.
it comes back.
Before
and then
we get on to another thing, I forgot actually to bring up last time when we were talking about custodies. We brushed over them too quickly. I want to ask you,
hey,
Farhan.
rapid fire, man.
Yeah, I know. Let's go. The custodies now, you can't use a lot of the stratagems on the bikes. A lot of the stratagems are one use only, and you lost OBSEC on almost everything. So
That's true.
how do you feel about that?
Look, man. Basically what we said last week, I completely echo the same sentiments. Like, yes, it sucks. I mean, obviously we were enjoying a very strong time as a Custodes player. We were really good. But I think this brings them in line a lot more, if I'm very honest. And I don't see that as a bad thing. What I have issues with,
exceptionally powerful.
what
they
I have
were.
issues with is how it feels like to me that Games Workshop is releasing these books stronger than the competition, and then bringing them back to meet
Well, of course they are. That's exactly how companies work. I mean, it's the same in any game. Like anything that
Not
you'll play
all the
is
time.
exactly the
It's
same.
like,
Not all the time, but that is just how marketing works. I mean, if they release something that's really strong, people will buy it and then they'll nerf it.
hey, that's
So-
true. That is true. I just don't like it.
I don't think anyone does. It's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I guess.
And this is why you don't buy into the meta.
That's
Yep.
it. That's like
Only buy what you think is
literally
cool.
today I played a Tempest of War game with Andre with his Tyranids, and boy oh boy is that book something.
Yeah. Crushed
is
by
it?
a Maliceptor, I heard.
Man, there was a lot of mortal wounds.
Yep.
Of mortal wounds. Oh my
Yep.
god.
I bet you wish you were playing Custodes with the Emperor's Chosen.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I mean, I was playing
Yeah.
Deathwatch, and I witnessed an
A murder.
evisceration. But that's just how like you said, that's how the cookie crumbles when it comes to this sort of stuff. I just wish
Yep.
that they were released more equitable to other armies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every army gets its day. Every army has been strong or will be strong. So
That's true.
you just
I
gotta
assume
wait
that
for
you
your
were
moment in the
using-
sun.
I assume you were using the new Armor of Contempt rules for your Deathwatch, though.
I was, but I have a fair lot of dudes with storm shields, so like
Yeah.
it doesn't interact in that
And
sort of
also,
point.
it was a small game, and Andre was using a Neurothrope, Zoanthropes, and a Maliceptor, which don't care because they're just all mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So-
It
Yeah,
was
fair enough.
a lot. That Maliceptor does a lot of mortal wounds, especially when it's buffed up with the Neurothrope.
Neurothrope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it gives a
3d6 cast.
3d6 drop lowest cast.
Oh, yeah.
New meta here.
It's not even,
You heard it
you know,
here first.
Farhan, it's not
Yeah.
even drop lowest. It's drop any dice.
Yeah. It's whatever you pick.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our articles before we run out of time, because oh my goodness,
Yep.
there's still
As
a lot
usual,
of
it's
stuff to
been
talk
a long
about.
time. I told you we're not going to get through them.
Guys, what is a Votan?
Okay, well,
Do you
before we
know?
begin on what a Votan is, I just want to point out that the guy at the top of the page, I feel as though that he's actually bald, and he's just glued a tuft of hair to the top of a clear, like, visor that goes over the top of him. Can
I'm
you see
not
what I
going to
mean?
look at that anymore,
Can
and
you
I'm
see
not
what I
going to
mean?
imagine that
Look,
because you're
pulling a
damaging
map.
something that I
I'm making
like.
fun of an image.
Stop.
Look, he's in a
No.
spacesuit with his
Mohawk.
clear dome, and he's glued a tuft of hair to his
He's
bald
just a fire
head
thing. He's
outside
just a
the
fire
dome.
thing. I'm not
It's
looking
so
at that
stupid.
anymore.
It's a hair squeak, just, you know.
Yeah.
They're advanced technology. They can use hair squeaks. It's
I
fine.
didn't realize they were orcs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But guys,
All right,
Superior
Farhan,
technology.
what
explain
is
to us.
a
What-
Votan?
Yeah, I don't
Do you
know.
know?
You're gonna have to tell me.
Matthew,
It's a
do you
big
know?
old. I do. They are big old blocks of AI that we swear is an AI. Please don't investigate.
My
course not.
goodness.
No.
Abominable intelligences they are. So we've finally been revealed on what is that highly heretical part of their culture that the Mechanicus specifically deem as tech heresy. They worship these huge cogitators. They don't worship. I guess they kind of like
They
use
kind of
them
worship
to
it.
solve complex. Yeah, they use them to solve complex equations and minorly worship them.
Plug some maths into it and call it God.
Yep, that's what it is.
As long as it's green, that's good enough for Matt.
It's not green.
Then it's not good enough, Matt, is it? Are you going to be playing
it's
Leagues
not
of
good
Votan?
Hey,
Hell no.
I'm actually really excited about this because, like, especially based off of the artworks that they're showing, I'm glad that they didn't go with the Tau clean kind of look, because they don't look that clean. It looks like it looks like the Imperium's technology just pushed and ramped up beyond what the Imperium can actually do. The Adeptus Mechanicus obviously are the keepers of technology in the Imperium, but they don't like it when people actually advance technology, when they're inventing new things. It seems like the kin, the Leagues of Votan, the kin have just kept doing that while nobody's been watching.
So they've put away their tricycles and they went underground to learn maths.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Sounds
that's
good
what
to me.
It sounds like high school.
I've been learning maths for 20 years, and I can safely say I cannot invent anything on this level. So I don't know what they've been doing for the last 20 years.
I mean,
that's why they have the big speaky cube to do the thinking for them.
yeah, big speaky cube does speak good.
Big speaky cube.
One thing I want to point out is the second piece of concept art that they have there, the one with the dudes just standing there.
Pointing.
That guy,
Yep.
and I called this out when they first announced it, but that guy specifically looks like just a really bulky space marine. But now that I'm looking at them again, I strongly feel as though they look like those new Stormcast models, like the really, really thick ones that run that Dominion box set.
The Annihilators?
The Annihilators. They look like Annihilators to me. They just look like they could be huge people.
They're very chunky, but the
They're
scale is
actually
different.
just tiny, tiny little men. And I can't wait for the new Orcs and Goblins versus Dwarf box set that comes out.
They're all
am so
Ben
excited.
Swallow. They're all Ben Swallow.
Yes,
You remember that meme
massive
from-
chests? Yes.
I am so sorry, listeners,
Super
that you had
wide.
to listen to that one.
Come on. It's a classic meme. He's just really, really wide. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Battle for Skull Pass 2.0 sounds great.
Yeah. Battle for the Skull Nebula coming soon.
Nice.
Matt,
Me.
you and I are avid players of the Warhammer video games.
We are indeed.
Have you played Battle Sector?
I've played bits and pieces. I haven't actually played all the way through it. But when this first came out, when Battle Sector first came out, I was extremely excited for it because it's like Dawn of War, but with extra 40k-ness sort of applied to it.
That's
Where
true.
instead of just a whole bunch of guys running across the board, it's turn-based and you move. You have certain movement requirements that you can can't exceed. You shoot at certain units. You can set to Overwatch instead. Like it just feels more like 40k than
It's like XCOM.
any of the other 40k
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yes,
it's like
pretty much.
Dawn of War cross XCOM.
You know, I've always
And
said
it's
that
amazing.
Warhammer can basically just pick any successful game ever and just put a Warhammer skin on it.
And it will be
I mean,
superior.
it works.
I can't wait
Yes.
for the Warhammer farming simulator.
I mean,
Just it'll be like
anything, Fran.
Orcs with squigs.
Need for Speed Underground 2 Warhammer skin. Yeah.
I mean,
How
that's
about
just
that?
Speed Freaks, the
how-
video game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Actually, no, that's Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
That's whatever the Mad Max video game was. Just
But
Mad Max.
anywho,
So is there
bringing us
only
back to-
Necrons and Tyranids?
Bringing us back to Battle Sector,
It was
yeah,
originally.
the original game was set after like the devastation of Baal, right after Gilliman came in and saved the place, and had like Primaris Blood Angels clearing out the Baal Secundus world. I think it's one of the moons for Baal, and to clear out the Tyranid infestation in there. And they very clearly announced. Well, they announced it a while ago, but I think it's out now. Yeah, it's literally out. The Necrons Battle Sector expansion. So now they've got a whole new faction to the game, and I personally would love to see all of the factions eventually in Battle Sector, because I think it's a game worth investing in, because I had so much fun playing through it personally.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I just appreciate how close to the models themselves they look.
Yeah,
as opposed to all of the other ones where it's like you look at an orc boy from Dawn of War and you're like, wow, what?
Well, yeah, but that's because the Dawn of War games are pretty old, except for Dawn of War 3, and that flopped pretty hard.
They tried to recreate StarCraft with it. That was the wrong
even
way.
then, Matt, you're lucky to get orcs in that game. We were very lucky to get orcs and Eldar. I mean, that's only 3 like armies out of like 25 or something.
There was no chaos.
I, for one, am really excited about the fact that they're done Necrons, and I would love to see like Tau and Chaos and all of these things come to the game. Because
I'm super biased. I want some orcs.
That's true. It would be really good to see the other factions in this game.
Yeah.
Now, guys, funny enough, we talk about it every single week, and they keep giving us more information every single week, and I am just so sick and tired of it. Just give us the codexes. Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights.
Yes.
Big old machines.
We don't have Jimmy this time.
We don't have Jimmy this time, so
have to be us today.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty keen on this. They've said that there is some new rules out, the Folly of Mercy. And it says if this teaching is inspiring, then you can select a armiger class within 12 of the mentor, and they can do an action without failing. So this, to me, seems like a chaplain that's giving out litanies.
Yes. So
yes.
When you read the article, basically, they've given more importance to the Knight Preceptor specific, turning it into kind of like a chaplain, exactly like you said, Jackson. And I think that's great, especially when you compare it to what they've been talking about with the Chaos Knights, which has been like, it's just been more about like their psychic powers and like the psychers, basically. So you have like this very clear distinction now between Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights, where Imperial Knights have like the litany, like quote unquote litanies, and Chaos Knights have the psychic powers.
I think that this is epic because, I mean, chaos really, when you think about it, comes from the warp, which is where psychic energies come from as well. So as they get more chaotic, they give up their prayers and they become psychers. It's pretty awesome.
Which makes sense. Yeah. 100%. And then obviously when it comes to like the Imperial Knights, they're all just regimented, super strict. Like they all have their hierarchies that they all follow.
Yeah. Well,
and
I like the idea of like, I like the idea that they're kind of like framed in the perspective of like a mentor teaching his squire, like a knight almost, some might say.
Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Did it take you that long to realize that, Jackson?
No. What do you mean? You know what I'm thinking about is that Imperial Knights roll 1 dice and Chaos Knights roll 2.
So Chaos is superior.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe not superior, but I mean, these guys roll a dice for a 3 and the other guys roll 2 dice for like a 7.
I kind of really like the fact that armigers are the ones that kind of receive the buffs. I think that's like, it's going to be really clever because it's like pushing you to run more of the smaller guys who can receive the buff from the bigger guys. Instead of being like, here's my 3 to 4 big ones, and then I've got extra points, I put them in.
Yeah, but you could still do that either way because it'd be really cool. Like, I mean, you've either got mentors, you can focus on the mentors and have like, here's my son, never talk to me or my son ever again kind of thing. Or you can have all of the big boys that come out to play and show the enemy who's the real boss. Still good.
That's very true. But I like the fact that gives this book, another point of differentiation from their Chaos counterpart, and B, flexibility in your army list creation. Because I feel like in 8th edition, Knights didn't really feel like that. It felt like you just ran big ones, and that was it.
Well, essentially, they only really have 3 different types of unit. And even then, the big boy knight is pretty similar to the other knights. So it's really only 2 units, either armigers or a knight.
That's
right?
true.
And now
it's
they
very,
have
very
characters
simple.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have the
But
one
I mean, even then,
character.
it's just a knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, a
I
character
think this
first,
is a
yeah.
great change. And I'm actually very excited for these books now. A little too excited.
Ooh. After the Seraphon, Farhan. After the Seraphon.
After the Seraphon.
Lizard first.
Yes.
Now, guys,
Lizard number 1.
I mean, they did release a bunch of other articles covering like underworlds and all this stuff, but they released something today at time of recording, like this morning, that I feel like is going to take up the rest of the time of this podcast, honestly, because I need to speculate with you guys. I need some roundtable discussion time because Warhammer Fest is 4 days long.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
How many
Yes.
things are they going to be talking about? Like, what?
Well, I feel as though they like to separate loads of things. I assume we're just going straight on to Warhammer Fest now.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Warhammer Fest because, like, that's a lot of days worth of content. Well, I presume.
Yeah, but they separate it.
Yeah.
They separate everything into smaller little bits and bobs. So every time they do a stream, they have the one bit of 40k, then Sigmar and Warcry, Necromunda, etc.
That's very true.
Some
Except
of the things here and there.
they've like split this specifically so that there's 1 day specific for each of the major games, and then a day for all of the small box games.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
I want to talk to you guys about like what do you want to see? Like this so much like going through my head as soon as I saw the fact that there was a whole day's worth of like reveals.
I mean, if you have a look at the flags that they have on the top of the Warhammer Fest announcement, that would likely give you a bit of a hint because each thing that I can see there is denoted with something.
Let's go left to right. Like obviously you got the Warhammer one that's just like the logo.
Interestingly, there are 2 of those, but keep going.
That's very true. Could that mean that it's like something new?
Something hidden, yeah.
I feel like that Imperial Fist one is denoting. We're going left to right.
Kit.
It looks very Horus Heresy.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
and
100%.
I think that'll lead us on to another topic, which will come after the Warhammer Fest thing about the plastic new kit. But anyway, moving on after that one. Yeah.
Big old tank.
What's the good old tank? Yeah.
Do you guys know what
I'm
that logo
actually
is?
curious about the next one. No,
The next one?
Yeah.
Isn't that from the Ossiarch Bone Reapers? It looks like a skeleton head.
It does, but
I'm
as to
not too
whether or not that's an
sure.
Ossiarch logo, I don't think it is.
It's got the dual eagles. I think this is Necromunda.
Could be.
Could be like a Necromunda
Necromunda
game.
could be the next one as well, though.
Yeah, it
Well,
could be. Yeah,
I
Either
see
of
that
the
as
next-
kill
I think
teams
the
it's like
the next one's
black
kill
and-
team. Yeah,
It's like
I
chaos.
just don't know what kill team it is. It could be chaos. Yeah.
Because I see an 8 points,
Okay.
like 8 points going on over there between the bones and the pointy bits.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah.
fair one.
After that, what are we looking at? This is some
else?
else.
That's got to be Silvernet.
No. Look at the top. It's all pointy. This is Idneth for sure. Faux show.
No, it's green and it's got a swirl in the top of the banner. It has to be
but
Silvernet.
So
it's
Idneth.
also donating a tree in the middle. It's literally the tree of life symbol. It has to be Silvernet.
What's
I don't
interesting
know.
is that there are also 2 Silverneth, if assuming they're Silverneth or Idneth, whichever, there are 2 of the same but with a different symbol on them.
Yeah, they both look like Silvernet to me.
Mhm.
I mean, they have the same symbol
Look,
on the top as well, like at the
But
very, very
that,
top.
that swirl, and for reviewers, what we're looking at is the top banner for the Warhammer Fest with all of the flags.
Yeah.
Both of the actual banners are literally like they're very similar, so they make me feel like they're both denoting elves, but I think they're denoting different types of elves. I feel like one's gonna be like a Silvernet release because obviously they're due for a 3rd edition book, and the other one's gonna be maybe an Idneth thing. I could see.
It just doesn't look like Idneth to me. It looks too like green and tree-like.
I mean,
You know,
yellow
like
one
surely
could be
those would be
either.
blue.
I mean, they're kind of
Yeah,
the
but it
same.
has a tree on it.
I mean,
So I feel as though the top would be different.
I appreciate that you're super into the tree side of things, and it definitely looks like Wood Elves
Look,
based
this is
on the
entirely
old world.
unbiased to the fact that I play Silvernet.
But one thing
it's
that I
your
want
heart hoping for more Silvernet.
whilst
No, it's not. I don't have all the models already. I don't want
the
more.
leaves on the right hand side, on the rightmost like of these two, flag right before the last one on the right hand side does have leaves on it, and that I'm pretty sure that is even an old world Wood Elves symbol.
Yeah, I think
100%,
that you
yeah.
are right. It's more related to Wood Elves. I would guess that before the Ideneth. Sorry, Farhan.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if they're going to bring back Old World, that could be a huge shout.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
actually
one-
very, very true. They haven't talked to us about Old World in a bit, and I'd like to see what developments are going on there.
What is the next one though? After on the left side, there's a black one
It's a square.
Blue.
Box.
and square. Yeah.
Leagues of Votan.
No. I think that has
Because-
to do with.
Now, my reasoning being that it's the exact same format as the Leagues of Votan flag on the very far right, including the
He's right.
border edge
It is-
and
it is
that
true.
symbol on the very top.
It is true.
So,
He's right.
something to do with the leagues. I reckon it might even be a kill team for them.
It could be, yeah.
You're playing a deadly game here, sir.
Why? What is your idea, Farhan?
Oh no, I don't
I'm
have an
just playing
idea
with his
now because
heart.
that's too plausible. Obviously, we've got the octet after that, so that's going to be some sort of chaos-inspired thing.
Yep.
Be it probably
Yep.
40k.
I would say so. I'd say that the one on the left
let's-
is Chaos General, and then one on the right.
Let's
because
get
it's Chaos
through
Best
the rest of the banners real quick, and
Yeah.
Yep.
the one
My
after that.
theory-
Mechanicus.
For the next half is definitely going to be Chaos Knights.
Yeah, I can see that.
Any arguments? Yeah, no.
Dark
Nope.
Mechanicus.
Yeah, I mean, if like
It'd
fingers
be
crossed,
cool.
I'd prefer it.
After that's
then
obviously
obviously
going to be another
Kill
kill team
What-
thing.
What kind of kill team do you guys think that looks like?
Oh, it's just the general kill team logo. I'm pretty sure.
That's the
Skull with
kill
a
team
knife
logo, yeah.
in its mouth. Yeah.
But is it the general one and then the arrow behind it is just generalized? That's what it is?
Yeah,
And with
yeah.
a knife at the bottom?
I do believe so.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like a grail to me and I was thinking Blood Angels.
I definitely think the one that you mentioned before is kill team based on this one because similar to the Leagues of Votan one and the two, either
I reckon
Silvernet
that's
or
like two
Ideneth
halves of it.
Yeah.
Two halves of the same kit.
They're-
It's probably like
They're both sides. Yeah.
Imperium versus Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that
And
is
then the
obviously
green
the
one's
Horus
going to
Heresy
be
one.
Horus Heresy.
That's
yeah.
the
Yeah,
Sons of
Horus.
Horus. Sons of Horus stuff.
The
After that-
mysterious, needless 40k Warhammer or just
Yep.
Warhammer community flag.
Mysterious. Ooh.
Very mysterious. Chaos
Yeah.
Space Marines, boys.
Pretty
After
basic,
that,
yeah.
That's
Pretty
very
straightforward.
clearly can only be one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
then-
is red, so wait,
Exactly.
do you think that because it's a red banner with a Chaos Space Marine
All right,
helmet
we've
on
got our
it, that
tinfoil
it's
hats
gonna
on
be
again.
Layers
world eaters?
deep.
Yeah.
World eaters?
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
they
Yeah.
have
See.
they have the pins on the top denoting what 5 points. The 5th Legion.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how we go. Honestly,
Exactly.
I mean,
It's coming up.
but yeah.
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 Keen
and
to
then,
see what it all is.
Yes, there's a lot to discuss, and we are definitely going to be talking about that. Actually, I had an idea a little while ago. I'll ask you guys on the podcast, and we'll talk about it more later. Hopefully, is do we want to be like watching this stuff live?
Oh, that could be a
yeah,
really
get some
good
live
idea.
thoughts on it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
just like
do it.
have us just sitting there going, "Wow, Eddie Eccles."
Eddie Eccles at it again with his orcs.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that for sure.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun because then we can kind of just hang out and watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obviously over 4 different days, but yes, 100%.
Yeah.
that's true. That
we
is very
we
true.
can pick and choose our battles. Probably do
Yeah,
40k.
yeah.
No, fair enough.
Okay,
I
cool.
definitely
And
want to
then-
be there for the Heresy release though.
Speaking of other releases and things, Farhan,
Yo.
is it time for a nice segue with the Imperial Fists onto the next one?
Yes.
Talking about the new tank,
The tank.
tank of fun.
Oh yes, the tank. You talked to me about Imperial Fist. I don't know why. In my head, this thing does not click Imperial Fist. I don't know.
It's yellow. It's bright yellow.
Look, yes, they painted it as Imperial Fist, but
It looks
in my
like
head,
a giant
I
banana.
only see sea green. I don't know. I might be projecting something.
Yes.
Let's
it does.
talk
It looks pretty
Spartan
cool.
tank.
It's a new plastic Spartan tank that they've released that can hold 26 Legionnaires or 13 Terminators.
13.
Yeah,
very nice.
What a strange number.
13. Yeah, because it's 26 capacity. Because obviously Terminators take up 2 slots, but this means you could take 2 units of 10 guys, a unit of 5 guys, and probably a leader. Which is very nice.
Well, I mean, Horus Heresy Legion squads can go up to 20.
There you go.
So I could
you
see
could run 20 and
20,
5
maybe
and
like
1.
a command squad. I don't look. As a preface to you guys out there, I don't play Horus Heresy, so
Well, no one does yet.
I don't think
this is all
yeah,
on the
no one
new
plays it, yeah.
new
Yeah,
play
yeah.
system, so it's going to be completely different anyway.
That's
I
very
reckon the new
true.
play
Yeah.
system's going to have 9th edition rules.
you reckon?
That's
Yep.
yeah. I can almost guarantee that's what's going to happen.
Look, I reckon it's going to be that way as well.
All right, guys. You heard it here first. Matt guaranteed it. And when it comes out
Yep.
and it's not that, sue. Just sue him. That's
Sue
right.
Matt specifically.
Yeah,
sue
sue
him.
me as part of the BarnCast, so
No,
that all
no,
of
no,
those
no, no,
legal
no. Don't sue the
proceedings.
BarnCast.
We're only
We are
like
not
a small
affiliated in
portion
any
of
way to
Barnyard
Matt.
Wargaming.
We are not affiliated with Matt in any way. I don't even know who
Our
Matt
views
is.
do not
I don't even-
influence the.
I don't even condone my own perspectives. Like, what hope do you guys have?
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am keen for this. Because
Look,
it's a gigantic Land Raider. And what's
it
not
is-
to love about
Yeah.
that?
It is really cool, and we are seeing a lot more plastic stuff. I'm just curious to ask, like, what other plastic things can they release? Like,
Yeah.
there's
Well, this is what I was going to say. I think that I'm not really excited to see another tank. We had plenty of those. There's heaps of them from Forge World, and they all just look like giant bathtubs.
Do we-
It's
do
like
we-
literally a box to me.
do we
but
know
the fact
yet
that it's
whether or not it's
plastic
going
is
to
good.
be? Well, do we know whether or not it's going to be like a like
What, Games Workshop or Forge
or-
World?
Yeah.
This is a Games
I'm
Workshop kit.
guessing, Games Workshop. Yeah.
Yes,
Is it going to be
is
a whole
definitely.
separate tab, or is it going to be a box game, or is it going to be like?
I think
a
it's just
whole
going to be a
separate
separate
tab.
unit that they're going to release in the Horus Heresy stuff.
It's going to be.
I hope.
It's
maybe
separate
like,
tab.
but then this
For
is the thing, right? My question I pose to you guys, they're going to release the old world, and is the old world going to be Horus, like Forge World only, or
No, I think that
definitely
they're
not.
killing Forge World, to be honest.
really?
I think that they're just rebranding it. Yeah. Because
I think the
they're
resin's a bad
discontinuing
way to go,
loads
yeah.
of different stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
resin is bad.
sucks. I mean, I think universally
so-
we can all accept resin is.
I think that they're just kind of absorbing them into the one company as Games Workshop.
That's very interesting. Because,
It's a good reason to do a range refresh.
like,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I feel like things being on Forge World have always been a big barrier for people. I know for myself, like, when it comes to Chaos Space Marines and stuff, I like it when things are not so Chaos Corrupted. And the best sort of, like, kits for that and the best, like, looking models for that come straight out of Forge World from the Horus Heresy series. Like, the Alpha Legion stuff, for example. And, yeah, Forge World has always
Okay,
been
that-
a barrier, especially for us who live
Yeah.
halfway across the world.
Yeah.
In
And
one
not
of the
to mention,
colonies.
Yeah.
if they get rid of Forge World, then they'll only have one website to manage, which means they can cut at least one guy and his yearly paycheck for admin on the Forge World website. Now they
That
only
is
need
a
one guy to
horrendous
just
thing
do
to
the
say,
Genshin.
Jackson. I feel
And
bad
totally
for you.
accurate.
Joey Forge World
Yeah,
out
look,
there. I'm
They can
sorry
just
that
cut
you're losing
guy.
your job.
We don't need him. Yeah, sorry whoever you are working as the admin for Forge World, but yeah,
Look,
they're
Mr.
gonna get rid of it.
Joey, I hope you get hired onto the Games Workshop website team.
Yeah, I do too.
What I think we're going to be seeing with these the plastic Horus Heresy models and when Old World comes out is that we're going to be having 2 extra tabs, obviously, on the like the Warhammer website, the Games Workshop website, and they're going to be the specialist versions or like the more niche versions of their mainline games. You're going to have the niche version of Age of Sigmar, which will be the Old World, the niche version of 40k, which will be Horus Heresy. And it's going to be these kits that are going to be more detailed. They're going to be more expensive. I say they're going to be more expensive. Like we'll see about it, but I think they will be. And they're going to be for those hobbyists.
You're right. They're going to be more expensive, and they're going to be higher detail with plastic kits. But at the same time, they are going to not have all the shipping costs and stuff. So it might suck for people like who live in Europe and things like that. But for us Australians, it might be even better.
So down the line is that they have the normal Warhammer, which are the just standard 40Ks and Sigmars, and then you have the niche Warhammer that they still have in the stores, but they don't actually, support beyond, hey, these are some really special models and this is a really special game. You can play this like as they're, bringing new kids into it.
You know what also supports that?
Yeah, like they'll be like, down the line, we'll bring into it.
All the cycling out of the Games Workshop models. The fact that they've been removing, I dare say, underperforming kits from the store.
That's true.
Maybe they're making room for this. Like,
it is interesting that they killed off 3 named characters that are in the current codex for the orcs. That was a bit of a shock.
They killed off named characters, which were the only named characters for specific Space Marine chapters. I'm looking at you,
and Matt, you had so many.
He didn't make it through.
You had so many named characters for orcs. There were so many, so they just had to kill off a few. I mean, it's the named characters are really hard to sell because you don't need them in every army. You only need them in one.
See, the named characters are easy to sell when you can build the kit to make a generic one.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
That's exactly what they've done.
Super niche ones like the only jetpack or character, and the only sneaky or character. So your old mate Snickrot's gone. Kaputski.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Yep.
Should have picked him up.
You can join them. Join all the other things in Legends, like all the Blackstone Fortress characters. They're all gone.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just have a very fancy crude shaper.
They just died on the...
I have Amelin Shadow Guide from Bealtan. She doesn't exist.
That's a very nice looking ranger model you've got there.
Ranger character,
on the wrong size base.
Well, I mean, they all just died on re-entry into Cadia, so...
Yeah. Oh, man.
So rest in peace.
Look, we're reaching the end of our recording time, but there is something that I do want to tease in discussion, especially because we have Matt here and we're talking about the fall of Cadia. Keep an eye out, guys, on our channel, because I feel like there's a lot of discussion amongst us outside of recording about the lore, about the setting, and about the world. And I think we might be coming out with some nice, interesting, and most importantly, digestible information about the Warhammer lore. Isn't that right, Matt?
Very exciting.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming and joining me. I know we don't have the 4 people this time, but I feel like we had enough personality to cover it.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
I bring all the personality anyway. Like I'm 100% of the personality right now.
I would just like to point out, Farhan said I was egotistical at the beginning, and him and Matt have both spoken themselves up, and I have not. So clearly, lies.
Well, clearly you were keeping track and making sure that you didn't sound egotistical.
I called you both out on it. Yeah, that's very true.
Well, I want to thank you guys for hopping on for today. It's been a really good chat. A little more speculation this time around, and I want to know what you, our audience, kind of has to feel about it, because there's so much new stuff coming out, but like nothing set in stone. So I'd love to hear it. Give us a comment. Like the video if you're watching us on YouTube. Tell us about your friends. Tell us about your friends. Tell your friends about
Tell
us.
us about your friends, yes. Like,
Yes.
we want to know all about them.
We want to hear about them.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We actually can hear all about them if you want to jump in our Discord as well and
What? Discord?
share some of your hobby, updates so that we can, give our thoughts on it. You can engage with us. It'd be a great blast.
I'll send
Yep.
you a Farhan emote each time. That's my seal of approval.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll catch you in the next one then.
Thank you very much,
ya.
everybody, for
And-
listening.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.